Welcome back, and this is Unrendered. I'm Tony Regisford, and I'm chatting with Dr. Marlene Atz and Mr. Nigel Bradshaw. Folks, welcome.
Thank you very much.
And being from Trinidad, welcome to St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
Thank you.
Now, you were here, I think, on a sort of road show for the University of the West Indies Open Campus, to be specific. And you've been on a sort of recruitment drive, I suppose. Tell me, how has that been going? If I could start out with the recruitment officer, Mr. Bradshaw.
Well, I must say we've had a tremendous time in being able to successfully meet large numbers of students, which is what we really intend for when we do this type of activity. Because you understand that we've only been here from Wednesday, finishing today with the open house.
So that's 3 days basically you've had on the ground.
Yeah, right?
Yes.
And I think we have been able to meet at least 300 students from at least 5 secondary schools. We hope to be able to meet some of the college students as well, to be able to help them understand the perspective of the University of West Indies, which is to unlock the potential of Caribbean persons, including those right here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, as well too as help them understand specifically how that is shaped through the programs that we offer that can create significant careers for them.
Yes. In your interactions with the students, what has been the response? I mean, how have they taken your visit?
Well, I think it's been mixed. One of trying to wrap their minds around the information that we're giving them, because I think for some persons, certainly the younger persons, because we've met primarily with 4th and 5th form students. The 4th form students, not too sure, about UWI and that sort of thing, because they're now trying to wrap their minds around the courses they'll do for their CSEC examinations. And the 5th form students certainly a lot more interested, because they're at that juncture in their education, in their academic life, so to speak, where some of them are starting to make some very hard and serious decisions. If they're not, their parents certainly are. Right. So I think the information that we're providing them with, they can take back to their parents so that they can make more informed decisions as to what career paths they're going to follow. So I think the response has generally been quite positive, and even the administrators of the schools themselves have been quite keen to have us share information and leave some promotional literature with them for the students and for their libraries.
I have heard, from a critical standpoint, that what seems to happen at schools is that when students are approaching that stage to make a decision about their tertiary education, the linkage of career guidance is not there. Why am I studying history? I like history, but is it something that, why am I want to go on and do engineering? What careers are available in this field and so on? How much work does the university do in sort of looking down to that level of career guidance models that would determine your recruitment in UE?
Well, there are many initiatives throughout the Caribbean to ensure that there are parallels, and specifically with faculties of humanities and education, that would work alongside or hand in hand with the ministries of education in the 16 territories that contribute towards the University of West Indies, to ensure that there is guidance in terms of the expected level for matriculation and also to graduation from our programs that would engender a specific type of development coming out of the secondary education complex, and also to now the primary school education complex. It is ongoing work because of the fact that in the globalized arrangement that we have these days, we quickly assimilated new information that has to be shared along all 4 tiers of the education arrangements that we have in the Caribbean.
Right.
And we could understand too, with even though we have a significant number of persons involved in education throughout the Caribbean, the responsibilities thereafter are going to be tremendous on those educators to be able to ensure that we're maintaining what's happening. So to answer your question specifically, we are working towards ensuring that students can be able to understand the development of history, the development of science and mathematics, the development of environmental studies, as they relate into the way in which their careers are going to be shaped.
Yeah.
If I can complement Nigel's perspective, one of the things that we've been doing, and I'm talking specifically about the department in which I find myself, the Department of Economics.
Right.
We have very strong linkages with the departments of economics at both the Mona campus and the KFIL campus. Traditionally stronger with the Mona campus because we tend to collaborate more closely with some of the colleagues there. And we embarked on a process about 3 years ago as part of the university's overall strategic planning activity to do a demand for economists survey. I think the first one was done in 2002 at St. Augustine, and that demand for economists survey spanned a number of stakeholders, from secondary school teachers to corporate Caribbean to academia to small business, to find out their perceptions of us as economists, and also to help us shape the kind of information that we imparted to our students, because they were effectively saying to us that these are some of the needs that they have, and these are some of the areas they'd like us to do more work on, so we can therefore craft our courses to better suit the needs of the stakeholders we have out there. So that kind of complements what Nigel was speaking about, in terms of they're going out and getting a demand and doing a needs analysis at a particular level, and then as academics, I think recognizing that we can't continue to teach things in a vacuum, but we really have to teach things that are relevant to the changing society and the changing region, and also in the context of globalization. So we have been doing those sorts of things which have seen new courses on stream, coming on stream, majors and minors. So in the Department of Economics, you can talk about health economics, you can talk about environmental economics, so that students can... Well, the idea we try to convey is that you should no longer see any one of the disciplines, not just economics, but see any one of them as something being static, but it's really a dynamic field that is changing to respond not only to the national needs, the regional needs, but also to the global environment.
Now, let's just talk about some barriers, and I'm talking in relation to students wanting to pursue a tertiary education at University of the West Indies. They get to that point, and well, one barrier I could think about, of course, is finances.
Of course,
right? But I mean, there are some others which I think I'm asking you to identify, and how are we trying to get around all of that? How are we trying to maximize participation for potential students who certainly meet the entry requirements, and so let's identify those barriers first, and tell me how you're trying to get around them. Start with Mr. Bradshaw.
One of the barriers that existed previously was that we depended heavily on CSEC and CAPE qualifications in specific arrangements of subject areas to be able to help qualified persons for acceptance into degree programs at the University of West Indies. We have not necessarily dismantled that approach, but we have reoriented it to take into consideration that the reality of the region is shaping many persons to go into a number of different pathways, if you want to say, academically, that would generate specific types of careers. And we've believed then that we have played a part working with different institutions like technical and vocational level at different types of educational institutional levels, to ensure that there are multiple pathways to be able to come into the university. Let me give you some examples. We're right now finalizing arrangements to be able to have a pre-engineering program that will be developed for students present here in the SVG, to be able to enhance the vocational requirements, as well too as the understanding of what it takes to be a professional engineer and otherwise, before and then also to being able to directly enter into the faculty of engineering at both the St. Augustine campus and also to the faculty of engineering in Mona campus. We have done also to the pre-health program for persons to be able to enter into the medical sciences faculties, right? That and also to what we call the N1 program, or the pre-science program, which allows students with CSEC qualifications only, or with a need to have post-CSEC qualifications enhanced, to be able to come into the University of West Indies. But we also have worked with non-university entities that have been assuring different types of educational systems to have those assessed for us to be able to not necessarily certify them for entry into the university, but specifically for them to be able to be utilized for entry into the University of the West Indies.
Right.
Apart from the initiatives Nigel mentioned, we recognize, and I think it's one of the barriers, the financial constraint goes hand in hand. The fact that we have more mature students who sometimes they look at the opportunity cost, so to speak, of going into university right away, as opposed to having their families, as opposed to earning a living.
So there's a question of priority here.
Precisely. There are a number of persons who have gone into the public service and to whatever jobs, and then 10 years down the line they realize, for whatever reason, either for promotional purposes or simply for career enhancement or for personal enhancement, they realize that, now the time is right. My children have, gone through their primary school, things have settled down a bit at home, and I want to get into the university system. And we have made efforts to accommodate those kinds of persons as well. At the St. Augustine campus, we launched what we call the Evening University a few years ago, and that Evening University track is specifically geared towards those persons who've been working for a number of years. So
but Trinidadians, though.
But Trinidadians, I mean, it's the kind of thing that really takes some time to spread the word across the other campuses, because of course there are costs associated with that, because what happens is that certainly in our faculty we have a separate cohort of lecturers who come in the afternoon, so there are costs associated with that. And the idea is that we want to promote that evening university so that a more mature cohort of students can come onto the campus and benefit from the programs. But as you raise the question of the Trinidadianness of the evening university, so to speak, there is also, of course, the open campus, which has become a lot more sophisticated in terms of their technology, sophisticated in terms of their course offerings over the years, again to accommodate those students who have other priorities and really are not able to come full-time onto the campus, so you can do your programs online. And that I'm proud to say, and I'm sure many of our colleagues in St. Vincent and the Grenadines are aware of that. We now have the open campus operating in 15 territories across the Caribbean, trying to meet and overcome some of those barriers to which you alluded earlier.
Well, it's a good note to take the first section of the program out on, because when I come back I want to pick you back up on the open campus, and let's just sort of open that out in detail and see the kind of work that's going on there and what are the improvement opportunities. So when we come back, we pick up the open campus. This is Unrendered, and I'm chatting with Dr. Marlene Atz and Mr. Nigel Bradshaw. More of them when we come back.